After that, there's no questions left.
No questions.
You know that, yes.
So will I reach that point?
Everybody.
No, everybody will reach. There are hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. I'm asking this lifetime.
Now, along with the thought, thinker also will arise. So the thinker 1 and thinker 2 are different actually. So, but we confuse that multiplicity of thinkers to be one thinker, me. The real one who is seeing, watching is not a thinker, just a watcher, witness. So discontinuous thinkers, I am continuing creating a one individual identity which is self, jiva. But it's not continuous. It's arising like this.
Who is that continuous thinker?
There's no continuous thinker. There's a continuous watcher.
Continuous watcher.
Witness.
Witness
is not the thinker.
Is not the thinker. That's the Atma.
That's the Atma. So now this discontinuous thing is a Jivatma. That is the one who is seeking happiness and
when I do dhyana, sometimes I have some questions which I relating to the world. How do I get answers? Who is the one who's answering me in my mind? And I can see that the answer that I have, not always, few times it has happened, the answer that I have got is actually the correct thing, that I can see it happening.
It's mind.
That's mind. So where is the mind getting this power to tell me what is going to happen, what I need to look after?
Where is the mind?
It's in the Atma. So mind is getting the energy from the Atma. And that's how I get some answers that I do.
So mind is not individual.
So much sense.
Mind is universal.
Yeah.
Everything is in the mind only.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you. I'll ask you a question. Are you able to see me? Are you? Are you able to see me?
Not the real you. But I can also see the real you.
You can't see.
No, I can sense it. I can sense it.
What you sense, what you see, what you perceive is not me.
It's not you.
The consciousness cannot be sensed, consciousness cannot be perceived, consciousness cannot be touched.
Then how do you associate with something which is like-minded or whatever? It's a continuous thing. Even in the atmosphere there is energy. Even when people say even inanimate things like fan, like the TV, everything has got consciousness.
Everything is consciousness.
It is consciousness.
Okay. When everything becomes consciousness, the experiencer, experienced and experience process duality drops.
It's all one.
No, not one. the concept of one has no meaning there.
So there is nothing there.
One and nothing, no meaning there at that level.
At that level.
That one and nothing all relate to you are speaking from the duality level.
Yeah.
So in the consciousness, there is no concept, nothing. There is nothing that I can explain to you. It is that consciousness alone exists. Okay. Understand? That is the final state.
So is that why you're saying I cannot perceive you?
You cannot perceive me. You cannot perceive anybody.
That's true.
The perception of you as somebody, as she or he, is because you perceive yourself, your body mind complex as you, individual. That's why you are perceiving everybody else this thing. In a state of realization, everybody, that the concept of separation disappears.
Yes. But if the separation disappears, there is then something. There's some entity there, or there's nothing?
There's a consciousness. Consciousness is not an entity.
Yeah, there's consciousness.
Consciousness is not an entity.
Just a continuous flow of what?
Nothing.
It's not a flow.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
It's not an object.
Yeah.
The consciousness you cannot, no matter what you do, consciousness cannot be defined. Because using consciousness you can define something. Consciousness itself cannot be defined.
So when people say conscious awareness, what do they mean?
Consciousness and awareness, you have to understand. Consciousness per se is beyond awareness and unawareness. Is existence. Just existence. Isness.
Isness. It
Okay.
just is.
Just is. Is as how big is, how small is, where it is. It's just is.
What's the point in running after that abstract?
No, it's
Why
not
not
abstract.
enjoy
It's not
the
abstract.
No.
It's not abstract. It is real. It is the only reality. Everything else is temporary.
When we say Sat Chit Ananda,
Satchit Ananda or
consciousness, awareness, bliss,
of that easiness.
of that isness.
At the ultimate level, there is easiness.
Isness, correct.
Okay, where that easiness, there is beginning, end, infinite, finite, all the concepts will drop there.
So this is the description of what? Sat Chit Ananda.
Satchitananda is a description of that easiness attributes, but that
Attributes,
that
yes.
easiness is
It's
simply
very
easiness.
easy. But the attributes are Sat Chit Ananda. Conscious awareness, bliss.
See, this actually is illustrated through Puranic Narayana. So Narayana is resting in the Milky Ocean. Eyes closed, is neither aware nor unaware, is neither asleep nor awake. That's why it's called Yoga Nidra. This consciousness is at rest. So Narayana is called Supreme Reality Parabrahma. Okay, in that Parabrahma state, simply isness. So that's at rest. We can say all that my description can be the consciousness at rest, we can say. So there is neither beginning nor end, it's infinite.
It just is.
That's depicted through Narayana.
Is Narayana there in a physical form? They're sleeping in that.
For that I have given the answer already. Depending on your consciousness level, you can perceive the reality in different ways. See, her consciousness, is there some person called Narayana sleeping there in Kshisagar? Okay, is there some deity called Narayana, Vishnu somewhere? For that I gave the answer. You forgot the answer.
No, I didn't forget. But when you're explaining,
for,
you are saying that.
I'm saying that for that answer, my answer is there are many levels of reality. When a snake perceives the world, it perceives the world in certain way. A dog perceives the world in black and white. Okay, another bat perceives the world in different way. Now, which of this is real? Perception of bat has no meaning for me. It may be some noise, but for bat it is real. So every perception is real to the extent of that consciousness. Okay, which of these absolutely real? None of them. Which is of them relatively real? All of them are relatively real to that consciousness. So if you ask, is there a deity? Yes, there is a deity, depending on what consciousness you are speaking from. If your consciousness matches with that reality, then a perception happens.
So that deity can also be a fan?
No. It's not a fan. It's a being.
It's a being.
All you have to do is energize yourself.
So that is a mental projection.
That's, yeah.
Exactly.
Mental projection. I'm not speaking of mental projection. Your consciousness is slightly above the mental projection. It's the consciousness is what you believe to be real is the projection. It's mental projection is you superimpose. Start thinking that fan is somebody. No.
So for example, when you were saying that I'm focusing on somebody in the middle of the ocean, in the Milky Ocean. So you're focusing somebody there.
I'm not said that. I'm not said that. What I said is that what is the state of Supreme Being? That state of Supreme Being is depicted as Narayana sleeping in the Milky Ocean. I didn't say Narayana is sleeping in the Milky Ocean.
Who has depicted that?
There is a person who is in a meditative state, saw that reality or experienced that reality, and that he depicted through this form.
For some, that's what my question was. For some, it might be a fan or a TV or some other entity or an animal. So would that be logical?
It's not logical. It's not that. This is actually these perceptions of mystical reality is done by some evolved soul, somebody who has done it for the purpose of evolution of human beings. Okay, he has not done a donkey or monkey into a deity. He has done a higher reality he has depicted. So these are all actually what we call as mystical experiences. So there is a communication to you, but that communication is not real. Communication communicates reality.
So that has to be on a higher level of consciousness.
Yeah, consciousness. That's called samadhi state. So that is the state of easiness. There is no beginning and end. From the Narayana's perspective, there is no beginning, no end. Simply easiness is there. That's called consciousness at rest. Now the consciousness in motion is represented by Vishnu, who is flying, overseeing, creating, maintaining all those things, right? So when that consciousness at rest has the attributes of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means existence. The consciousness is existence. But existence is not dead. It is Chit, is conscious. It is Ananda, it's of nature of bliss. So if you say existence, it means like a stone-like existence? No, it's a conscious existence.
Everything is alive.
Everything is alive.
Now, if a Christian person perceives, like what she said about Narayana, for a Christian, that it will be true of Jesus Christ or Mother Mary, isn't it?
It can. It can be. See, the thing is, you, depending on your cultural conditioning, religious conditioning, you may perceive some different level of experiences. Alright? It depends on who you are, where you are. What is your cultural conditioning? What is your evolution level? You know that you see something, or he perceives something. But a realization or enlightenment is beyond all these perceptions. This is the discovery of the Rishis, Mahatmas of India. Beyond all perceptions, the reality lies. That is called Sat Chit Ananda. That is what you are. So this is beyond perception. So this concept of understanding of reality or enlightenment has not happened. I have not come across any other religious teacher. It is there in Buddhism, it is there in Jainism, it is there in Hinduism, it is there in Sikhism. So the religions of Indian origin speak of a higher level reality, Sat Shri Akal, beyond the time, right? Satnam Ik Omkar.
Yeah.
Okay, all these religions of Indian origin, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism and Hinduism, they understand a reality which is beyond time and space. And that reality is what you are. And this realization that you are that reality is liberation. Okay? It's not that you have to become that reality.
You are that.
You are that reality. It is not that you become doing some circus, doing some circus or doing some sadhana, doing something, I'll become that reality. No, you are that reality. Now, why I am not that reality is I have notions of reality which is not true. That notions of reality is actually what has to be dropped. That is called enlightenment.
That is so beautifully put. Dropping that we believe is true, then what is left is enlightenment. Dropping the wave. But the conditioned mind is not so easy to drop. But
So,
Because you don't know how to draw.
no, that's where it is always the importance given is satsang. When you say satsang is not listening to lot of varna, lot of pravachan, lot of do good, be good type of literature. That's also satsang. Okay, people require some comfort level, the emotion support, okay, understanding, the good environment, vibration. The real satsang is an enlightened speech where every notion of yours is questioned. So that you drop the wrong notions so that reality remains. That's called satsang. And the satsang cannot happen if some person has not crossed that reality, he cannot do that questioning. If I am stuck in some Maya, I cannot bring you out of Maya. Somebody who has gone out of the time frame, out of that frame, only can question every illusion you have. So then that questioning drops the associated notion. As the dropping takes place, the enlightenment sets in.
so real satsang is at an inner level.
What do you mean by that?
When we sit, like if I say one satsang in the earlier times, the notion of satsang is like you keep company of like-minded people, spiritually, people who are interested in spiritual things and that. That's a good company. After that, then when you keep your own company, a company of your inner self, then you'll know that you are that inner self that you're seeking. I don't know if I'm putting it very.
Correct.
Does it make sense?
See, satsang has a different connotation.
Hmm.
And all of them are relatively true. Okay. Satsang is to have a company of like-minded people is true. It's a group of sadhakas. It gives a good vibration, good energy. Vibration is satsang is true. Satsang is also a real satsang is the presence of a realized master.
Yes.
Okay. What is the value of presence of realized master is every word of his, every thought of his, okay, questions your deep-rooted belief systems. Okay. Your belief systems are questioned, challenged in the presence of a such a master. If you don't challenge those belief systems, then you will continue with the notions and you have your own notions of reality. So that is satsang. Okay. Now, once that belief systems get questioned, you look at the belief system and drop belief system and remain with yourself. That's called satsang.
Yes. What role does bhakti play in a spiritual path?
See, the bhakti is actually, what is the role of bhakti? Bhakti means love with respect. Love plus respect is bhakti. Love without respect is with equals. Respect comes only with the higher. Okay. Love and respect together form bhakti. Now, when does the respect come? The respect comes when you see something inspiring, something higher, something greater, something nobler, something magnificent. Then only respect comes. When does love come? Love comes when we understand we are related to that. We cannot have a love to unrelated. Love is relatedness. Respect is magnificence, greatness, higherness. So when these two together form, then there is something called bhakti. Okay. So if a boy loves a girl, it's not bhakti. It is at the level of equality, the physical. There is a love for a master, love for a god. So that is not, that's also love, but for a higher and the lower. So this is actually what's called bhakti. What role bhakti plays in spiritual evolution is any learning to happen, there should be respect. Otherwise, there's no learning will happen. So if I have to go to a physics class, hey, what that physics teacher? Yeah, he's a stupid guy. Then what learning I will do? I don't have respect for that person. I won't do any learning. Right? Oh no, he's a Nobel laureate. He is recommended by Nobel laureate. Then even if he says junk, I'll listen carefully. Isn't it? So he is a Nobel laureate. Oh, I have to listen carefully. I mean, whatever he says may not go into my head, but I will listen carefully. So respect is a prerequisite for learning, in any learning, right? But respect is there, learning will not happen if there is no love for the subject. You love physics, but you go and sit in a, let us say, a maths class, the mind is not there. When love and respect is there, the learning becomes much more deep. Okay, so that love and respect together is called bhakti. When there is bhakti only, there is learning happens, anything in life. Not about spirituality, for any aspect of life. Correct? So now we'll speak of bhakti in spirituality. If there is no learning, okay, I cannot evolve in my spiritual path. So learning I have to do. From whom do I learn? Do I learn through books? Do I learn through a teacher? Do I learn through a master? Do I learn to God? So this learning to happen, I need a guide, a master. So the respect and love for that master is called bhakti. Okay. Now I have a respect and love for God also, that also I call this bhakti. So now what is the difference between God's love and master's love? What is the difference? Love for bhakti for master and bhakti for God. What is the difference?
I don't think it's the same.
It is not same.
Yeah.
For God, bhakti is one-way communication. You communicate to God and you
That's
think
that's
what
very
God
right.
is saying, you think that this is God has told me. There is no two-way communication, cross-checking happens.
Yeah, that is true. From a guru, you learn because you can directly.
There is a two-way interaction. There is always
Yes.
a cross-check.
Yes.
In many of these communication with God, it's actually more of your communication. God has to listen, and you think what you are communicating to yourself as God's communication.
That's correct.
The feedback loop is broken. Whereas in case of a guru, the communication is two ways. There's a communication. You ask something, guru will answer something. You tell something, guru questions. There's a two-way interaction. So there's a clarity. In the two-way interaction, only clarity can emerge. That's why guru is placed in a higher position than God.
Yes.
Okay. Unless there's a two-way communication takes place, there's no clarity emerging. Okay. Otherwise, whatever you think as a communication from God, it can be as well your mental corruption.
Correct. Very much.
Okay. Which I have seen very drastic cases, extreme cases. I'll just give you an example which I have really seen myself. I met a doctor. He's an Ayurvedic doctor. He is well known as a very deeply spiritual person. He left his profession. He went to Himalaya searching for a master, and so many things happened. People say he's very, very evolved and very. He talks to God and all those things they say. He came to my class. Then I said, yeah, my guru is great. Okay, who is your guru? Somebody told of some name who is passed. Okay, why it's great? See, one day one patient come to my clinic. I gave him a penicillin injection. Then the person went into fits. Okay, immediately I chanted my guru's name, put my gloves, and opened his mouth and removed his tongue, and he became all right. My guru is great. I was shocked. You are an Ayurvedic doctor. How can you give a penicillin injection?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. I don't believe in all these things. If you have to give a penicillin, you should take it, give a dose. No. I have full trust in my guru. That's why that person. I said, thank God that guru has a great grace on the patient. See what happens if we carry on our mental dialogue. Okay, and what we think as our mental dialogue as communication from guru and God. That happens in case of a one-way communication. So this is bhakti for God. Okay, it requires a teaching to happen. The teaching can come only from a guru. Now teaching can be a monologue or a group delivery. There are 100 people sitting and people listen. Everybody thinks what he thinks is right and goes back. The correction doesn't happen. The correction has to be two-way. So the correction to happen, there should be a respect and love for the master. If the respect and love for the master is not there, there is no learning or understanding can happen. That is called bhakti. Okay. So when there is bhakti, there is a learning possible. But unfortunately, spirituality is not about learning. Spirituality is about unlearning. Right? Spirituality is not about learning. It's not stuffing you with more knowledge. Spirituality is about unlearning and dropping wrong notions you have developed in life. Okay? It's pleasing. You're dropping.
People, when they fast, today's Ashtami, is that
It's a
wrong?
mental discipline.
Yeah.
It's a discipline.
It's more discipline, that you.
Right? You need some discipline in life. That's a part of discipline. But real spirituality is about dropping the wrong belief systems and wrong notions. because you are already Atma. You cannot become Atma. Okay, God is not separate from you. So these are all concepts which have got into your head because of your impressions, because of your life. So those notions have to be questioned and challenged. Now this questioning and challenging doesn't happen if somebody is also in the same boat as you are. Alright? A blind man cannot lead some another person, blind person, to light. Somebody with light only can say, oh, you are going for light, that's not the direction, you go turn this way. So that person is called Sadguru, a realized master. Okay. Without the realized master, it's difficult to cross over our notions and concepts. We get stuck with that. So that is actually the process of learning. That's why Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa, listening, understanding and meditating is the process of enlightenment.
In satsang, sometimes there is satsang like there is bhajans. That is a satsang as well.
Yeah, I mean, at each level, different things mean different. First thing is, I said, the group of being with a group of people also is satsang, but that is actually good company, good vibration. It gives a good environment for you, and it gives a good support system. That is the limitation of that. That will not remove your notions because everybody is blind. All the people are going in some direction, and they are going in a common direction. Everybody is searching for light. Okay, so I am also in that group. That's fine. But then, to lead you to light, you need a person who is with the eyes. So you have to seek the company of that person. That's called satsang. That's a realized master. But a person with the eyes also cannot show you light. Can you show the direction of light? Ultimately, you have to open your eyes and see. That is satsang. That is to be the inner self. So it means different levels and different notions.
Is there a difference between Guru and Sadguru?
Guru is the one who shows the way. Sadguru is the one ends the way.
Ends the way.
And it takes you to the destination.
Not takes to destination. Sadguru is the
Shows.
destination.
Yeah. Not takes you, but shows.
Sadguru is the last
Ultimate.
ultimate point in your spiritual journey. Beyond that, there is no journey. You say, you understand that I have come to. There are many gurus, but Sadguru is one.
How do you recognize?
When you recognize that I have reached that destination, the mind becomes calm, mind becomes peaceful, all doubts will vanish, mind becomes clear.
So is that why people go into the mountains to keep their minds calm?
I don't know.
Why
The mountains are actually freezing places. So when they in the
You
freezing
can't
places,
be-
anything you can like a refrigerator, you can keep your head in the refrigerator. So you go to mountains to keep your head in the refrigerator. I don't know. So this
Calmness is within,
actually
it's
is
not
all.
outside.
I mean, this all is actually again a wrong notion. It's a wrong notion. Actually, what has because Himalaya has become brand name. Anybody worth claiming a spirituality has to say at least I have gone to Himalayas once. Otherwise, he is not worth spiritual. Okay, so this actually has a bigger. I mean, like this, no. I have.
Endorsement.
I have. What I'm saying, so I have done some this thing. I have done some technology innovation. That means he has to be in there in some of these Silicon Valley somewhere. Otherwise, he is not considered as a innovator, right?
That's right.
So somehow everybody has to set a brand. Okay, so I have to I have been to Himalayas means this thing. This is a totally nonsense notion. It's a completely meaningless notion. I have to tell you the meaning of what Himalayas is. The inner experiences expressed in metaphorical language becomes graphical illustrations. Okay. For example, I'll tell you what is it? The girl with the like lotus-like eyes, then teeth like a dadimanu. What is it?
Dalima, yeah.
Dalima. Pomegranate. So you keep on searching such girl, it doesn't exist. They're all figurative ways of telling something. Similarly, inner experience you have to explain to somebody. Okay, then how do you explain that? If I have gone to a peak of my human experience, I am feeling like I'm top of mountain Himalayas. Somebody says.
It's a figure of speech.
It's a figure of speech. The idiots have converted figure of speech into literal speech. Okay. That's there in English also. I feel like I'm top of the mountain. I mean, you are sitting on the top of the mountain. Is it?
That's symbolic, isn't it?
Symbolic. So what has happened is that symbolic words, people have started taking literal words, and literal words people have started using as a brand name and starting misusing them, misguiding people.
Like, for example, I mean, just to, like, this iron is hot. You don't know how hot it is, but it's hot. I burned my hand. Then you can gauge how hot it was because it has burned your hand.
So I'll tell you what is the symbolism of Himalayas. Himalayas is a place, snow white. Okay,
Hima.
Hima is a frozen, a mind which has become pure white, snow white. You are feeling on top of that mind is called I am on top of Himalayas. That is state of inner experience, enlightened experience. A person who is enlightened, the mind has become still, the mind has become pure white, and he is sitting on top of that. He is on top of Himalayas. That's all yogis sit on top of Himalayas only. Okay, now you start going on Himalayas and you start searching for yogi, people will be disappointed. There's no such thing.
But a lot of people go in search of yogis in Himalayas, and there have been
I'm
some.
telling you the fact and reality.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, removing notion from the myth from the reality.
It is a myth that you have to go to the Himalayas.
Okay, I'm telling you what is the fact and what is the reality. So in scripture, in this many of these, I am sitting. A yogi is sitting on top of Himalayas means he's sitting on top of mind which is pure.
Yeah.
On that he is sitting top. That's a state of consciousness. So, but then when you explain to common people, it is explained with the analogy of Himalayas. Okay. The same thing happens with Shiva. Shiva is on top of Kailasa. Okay. The Kailasa is a play of words in Sanskrit. Kai stands for Kaivalya, means to be alone. Lasa means dance. One who is dancing alone becomes Kailasa. Incidentally, there is a mountain called Kailasa also. So now people start looking Shiva on top of mountain of Kailasa. No doubt, Kailasa is a serene place. It's a place, nice place to be in. But if you start searching for a person who is sitting on top of Kailasa, then you're missing the point. Okay. Himalaya is a good place to go. Okay. On top of Himalayas, if you go and search for a yogi, you are missing. A yogi sits always on top of Himalayas, but not the physical Himalayas, the psychological Himalaya. Okay.
But Sri M, was it one of the
I don't want to question anybody's experience.
No, but what I'm saying is that he was meditating in the cave.
I don't want to specific instances. I'm telling what has happened in the common man's language. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we get misled by literal and figurative and graphical language with the reality. Okay. I mean, whenever you say somebody, I can analyze that experience and why that experience comes, and I can tell you very detailed. I like a psychiatrist, I can get into very deep details. I don't want to get into that because that's about a person. I don't want to get into it. Okay. So there's Kailasa. So that means peak of human experience is Kailasa. Peak of human experience is Himalaya. But the peak is not necessarily a physical peak. And in reality, not necessarily, it is not a physical peak. If you go on top of Himalayas, you will die. Okay. And there are few, you may find some people who do some miracle, this miracle, that miracle, some half miracle, all those things you may find. But that's not worth it. The question is, it's a peak of human evolution, peak of consciousness, now we can reach. That's called Himalayas. Okay. Now, let us understand what is a spiritual experience. Spiritual experience, mind becomes silent. Mind becomes deeply silent. Now we know how to make deeply silent, right? Mind has to be too noisy. Put it in a freezer, mind becomes noisy. Put your head into a refrigerator, mind becomes freezer. So go to Himalayas, very cold is the mind becomes cold. It will open up something else.
Become worse, it will look
Right.
for blankets.
So this is also a notion is there that for enlightenment you have to leave your family, you have to go Himalayas. It's all misnomers, metaphors. So what happens to people, I'll tell you. when you have seen many psychiatric books and many of these isolation walls, when person is put in isolation, his illusions mind gets started getting distorted.
Yes.
Okay, it's huge distortion happens. Now, when people start living in places where isolated places, huge amount of distortion happens, and they can see many of the illusions as real. Now that they start explaining as reality, then it causes confusion in the other minds of the other people also. So that didn't come because of reality. That comes because seclusion and isolation which has happened. A mental projection happens. Okay. So the idea is of spirituality is not you have to isolate yourself from the world. You have to isolate from the impressions of the world, which is inner, not outer. Okay. That's a gentle art. Okay. Without understanding it, somebody goes to on top of Himalayas, he will find some peace. Definitely there's no wife to bug him. Okay, there's nothing, no boss to torture him. Okay, only it's isolated place. He will find some peace. But that peace is not his peace. It is Himalaya's peace. It's a peace of nothingness. No crowd is there. That is not real peace.
That won't last also.
It won't last. The moment he comes back from Himalayas, he will be agitated. Okay, when he sits in Himalayas, he may have seen so many visions. But when he comes down, all these will come to reality. So that is not. It's actually simulation. It's not real. If you find peace here in your house, where you are sitting, then when you go to Himalayas, Himalaya will find peace with you. Your peace, Himalaya will nourish. Otherwise, you have to find some peace from Himalayas because that frozen ice and all will cool your head. Okay, you understand?
So you have to be at peace with yourself.
If you are at peace with yourself, Himalaya will find, oh, lovingly say, oh, at least one peaceful guy has come here.
Yeah,
He's
because,
not bringing his problems here.
yeah, because the peace, happiness, whatever, it's an inner experience. How can you get it from anything external?
It's not possible.
Isn't it?
Okay, understand. So this has to talk about what happens. The figurative speech becomes literal speech. Literal speech becomes graphical language. Graphical language leaves some brand image in the minds of people. Then everybody has to relate to that brand image to say something, communicate something. Okay. I was one day I was having a class. Then somebody came to me. I was like wearing letters like this. I'm sitting in there doing some class, Bhagavad Gita spiritual class. Somebody told Prabhuji is conducting class. Who called you Prabhuji? I mean, Prabhuji is like a title you thought. Okay. Nobody called me Prabhuji. My family name is Prabhu, and people are adding G to that. Prabhuji. Oh, is that so? Okay. Then, okay. Yeah, I got mistaken. I thought some Swamiji has come. I came here. Okay, fine. So then you're speaking about Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. Some spiritual. Yeah. Are you married? Yeah. Do you have children? Yeah. Do you do work? Yeah. Then what spirituality is speaking here? As if a person who is spiritual has to be walking naked on the street.
No, orange clothes, renunciate. That is the concept.
Concept.
This idea.
Okay. A person who is busy in life,
Yeah.
okay, person who is busy in life, who is active in life, is not considered as spiritual. It has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality is an inner experience. A person who is inner experience can be in the war field also.
Yes.
Okay. If somebody finds a peace in Himalayas, that is not in peace. If he has to stand in the war field, then I'll see whether the peace is there or not. That's why Bhagavad Gita is taught in war field, not in Himalayas.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Okay. If you have to find a peace, you have to be in the midst of the intense
Turmoil.
Yes. Of your family.
That's why I said you are fortunate. Okay. I'll say that you have to be in a circumstance where your peace is tested every moment.
But then we react all the time.
That is the fortune, that is the grace God has given to you. It's your measuring instruments. You are a doctor. What without all this MRP, scanning and all, the doctor is blind. Right? These are probing instruments. So every moment the God is given probing instruments. You got peace? Okay. So some okay, so peace is not there.
God.
That is the grace. Okay, if you say I want to meditate, I want to sit in a cave and meditate, then you are not meditating. The meditation has to happen in the midst of busy environment, noise. Then you are meditating. That's the test. For that you may do some practice. Okay, but ultimately it has to happen in the real life. Okay? You can be midst of life, but not attached to that. You can be in the warfield, but at peace. That is reality. If you are in a peaceful phase and I am at peace, no value that peace.
Prabhuji, watching television, is it wrong?
Nothing wrong.
Sometimes you watch serials and this and that.
What? It's not a question of watching television. Watching television is all right, but whether television gets into you is the
Impact
question.
of that.
Yeah.
Okay, impressions.
Yeah.
Right? Ultimately, the impressions. Now people get carried away by the impressions. Somebody commits a crime seeing television. Somebody eats drinks alcohol because of television. So that television has gotten to them.
But
Unless
if
you
it's
are
just
aware.
watch just like a light thing, doesn't worry. Because when I
No,
watch any family dramas, my family thinks that I'm going to become like that nasty mother-in-law.
No, that's
not
the question. No,
necessary.
you have to see what is your
Okay.
behavior, whether impression is coming into you or not. Okay, so that is Himalayas. I don't deny that there are people who are yogis in Himalayas. Okay, but I am saying general notion of Himalayas, going to Himalayas for enlightenment is false.
But they say there are some caves in the Himalayas where the energy is very high. That's what
This
I've read
again another
somewhere.
misnomer. Okay, please, I'm a lot of I'm sorry, I'm
No.
removing some of the
No, that's correct.
some of the what is that
It is
glamour associated with spirituality. Okay,
like
glamour and spirituality I'm removing.
Vashishta Guha.
You
cave.
listen carefully.
Huh.
Okay, see the thing is the ya nisha ya ya nihitam guhayam. That's a Upanishad Vakya. He is hidden in the cave. Okay. So now people starting for a cave. It is actually the cave which is spoken of Upanishad. Upanishad nowhere it says you go to a cave. He says search for a cave. But the cave is your heart.
Yes.
He is hidden in the heart of your cave. And why it's called cave? Because cave is the darkness. Earlier there is no tube light, nothing, no light was there. Your heart is full of darkness, which is heart is nothing but intellect. In that there's a darkness. In that Atma is there. Go and meditate in that cave, you will find Atma. Now you start meditating, finding a cave.
And then you start looking for the cave.
You start looking for a cave. And you start saying there's a lot of energy in that. There's a lot of darkness in that. So all this. And I have seen literally the person who have killed themselves with that cave. I'm telling you. Okay. I have one person came to me. So actually he became a wandering monk. Okay, in search of enlightenment. He has gone to Himalayas, this place, that place. He has seen some miraculous experience, all blah, 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 blah. People are fascinated by this person. And when he started in front of me, everything started coming down. All your miraculous experiences, all hallucinations started coming down. Okay, this fellow has, what he has done, he says that meditation has to happen in a cave. Okay, and he starts searching for cave, this thing. One cave he went. Okay, and in cave also where people have not traveled, he goes into cave. And suddenly he found this cave is full of poisonous snakes. Okay, and luckily he survived and came back. Another place he went, it's called Sacred Cave, one of the very sacred places. In that place, this lady was there, Shabari Rama. There people have not gone there for maybe a few thousand years. Because it's a sacred place, I find some enlightenment, he went there. Then, when he sat there, suddenly he realized that a lot of bear were looking at him like this. Bears. Oh, they are looking at him like this. Suddenly lost his consciousness. Okay, he woke up, and when he woke up and came, what happened by the time that this thing that anthill had grown on him. You have seen that, right? Some rishis will do tapasya and anthill grows. It really literally grew on him. Okay, and he came out and it's almost 15 days are over actually. 15 days have passed. He was unconscious. And his whole body was actually ant-eaten. And he was hospitalized for 6 months. No enlightenment, nothing. What happened is in that cave, some poisonous things or something was there. He went unconscious, and in that unconscious body, some anthill, something has grown. So hospitalized 6 months. No single light of wisdom, but he became very famous. People started appreciating his meditative for in a cave and this thing. And one day he came to me. He said, "I have done all this circus and nothing. I have not found the truth. I'm lost." Then I sat in the taxi. I taught him. He found his peace. Okay, so this is a person who has wandered as a monk for almost 7-8 years. People do all nonsense without understanding the essential spiritual teaching. You have to find God in the cave of your heart. Okay, there's a heart, there's a darkness, and in that heart, the darkness is the intellect. Cave is the intellect. In that Atma is there. The darkness has to be removed, and you have to meditate to remove that. That is the essential meaning of that. Okay. Now somebody gives a brand name, you go there.
How did Ratnakar become Valmiki?
Ratnakar was a hunter.
Anthill came out.
No, he was a hunter.
Hunter, yes.
Okay. See, the anthill concept also, again, I have to clarify. Okay, so the thing is, what happens is from ancient time to modern time, the graphical language, the language becomes graphical language becomes literal expression, and literal expression you start taking as Ratnakar started meditating. Narada came and told to meditate on Rama. He sat for meditation. Okay, and until grew on him. That's what says a lot of these things. Until grow. So growing until actually is a is a explanation of is a graphical way of explaining that he is isolated from the environment. So now that you start taking as a literal, then something wrong will happen. Okay, people have an understanding that meditation is nothing but becoming like unconscious, not able to pursue external stimuli, thing like that. Meditation is very, very active, very dynamic, very awareness process. Nobody becomes unaware. If until it grows, ant starts crawling in the body, the person will be aware and he will remove that. There's no until growing is only symbolic and metaphoric, not literal.
But nothing affects him. Maybe
nothing affects him. That's it. Why?
Yes, let him sleep. He's so keen to listen. So it's okay.
A lot of people say that in Kali Yuga, bhakti is the way to liberation. Bhakti marga. So can bhakti be so strong even in this day and age that you can find God?
I have a lot of complications about bhakti. Complexity. Bhakti is bhakti is no doubt required for anything. Bhakti marga is not a marga. Bhakti is the basic
It's
requirement.
a feeling or whatever.
Yeah, bhakti is the basic requirement for anything. I've already told.
Yeah,
even if you want to
love
learn
and
science
devotion.
or physics, without love and devotion, how you can learn anything?
Correct.
Right? Without bhakti, nothing can happen. Okay? So bhakti is required.
Some guru told me that your path, I don't remember the exact words, but what he meant is that your path of realizing is through bhakti, through your music.
No,
I don't know exactly what was the meaning of that.
I mean, I don't know what he meant.
I'll make a move.
Okay.
So we'll see you
Okay.
later.
He's going separate.
So you're,
Abhi aap aa rahe ho na?
you said,
She's here.
you're not going now?
No, she's not going.
No, Bhaiya, if you are going
No, I'm
to
not going.
prepare
I'm going to their
something or
house
anything,
because
no, we will come back for dinner here.
Ah.
Everything is here. Dharma has a, don't go for that. Sit and listen. That is more important. Right? Everything is here.
वहीं बैठ के ना जो भी आपने लिया ना यहीं
Go
से
and
लिया
cook now.
जाके
ये कह रही थी वो क्यों जा रहा है?
तो सही ना यहाँ से ले जाएंगे.
हाँ ये सब ले जाएंगे. Don't do anything then. Just sit. सब लोग मिलके जाएंगे.
I do nothing. Just want him to come and bless.
Yeah, sure. Guru Jack will go to Nanda's house.
Hmm?
go to Sunil and Sunil.
Sure, sure.
We'll take all this. नहीं नहीं, we'll take all these things. हम आप भी बैठो, सब लोग सब मिलके जाएंगे. Don't
See you
worry.
then. Okay.
Yeah, makes